Today we'll be discussing how to install Python. We'll look at the following: where to get the Python download, how to download it, and how to install it. Let's dive right into it. If you navigate to python.org, as shown here, um, here you can download the latest version or whichever version of Python that you wish. So from here, if you click or hover the downloads and you click the version highlighted here as the recommended, you can download and install it. Since I'm on Windows, it recommends the latest Windows version, and currently this is 3.9.1. As a note, if you have Windows 7 or earlier, 3.9.1 won't work. So another way to do this is to go directly to slash downloads, and you can get there from, again, going through here and then going directly to all releases. So as an example, if you had an earlier version of Windows, you can also get the version that you want here. So for example, if you wanted to use Python 2, you can find it here and download it. One click way is to scroll through here, and you can see here there's 2.7.17, and you can download it here. On this page as well, as you can see from above, you can see what the active Python releases are to tell you what maintenance status they are. So, for example, 2.7 is end of life, which means it's not being supported. So I would recommend Python 3. And then which version you want depends on which features and maintenance mode that you want it to be in. And if you are not sure, just get the latest Python version that's been released. And just as a personal preference, I would try to get 3.7 or higher because specifically Python 3.7 has typo notations, which is helpful when getting familiar to Python types. More probably just makes code a little cleaner. But of course, this is a personal preference. It just really depends on what you want. Another way to get to this page, of course, is if you just go straight. As you can see, I'm using Firefox. You can just search in the search bar up here or search in the navigation bar here for just Python download. And click that, it'll basically give you search results, and it should be the first result that you get. Yeah, so download Python, which ends up taking you to the same page here. So I'll demonstrate how to download the Python version. I already have it installed, so let's try to get a newer version here. Let's try to get 3.8.7. So if we download this, so on this release page here, now that I clicked on that, it'll give you basically some important information about it, such as what are the new features, the differences between the older version, and some other resources. As you can see here, it tells you which binaries are provided for which architecture. So if you scroll down to the bottom, these are where the important files are that you'll need. So since I'm on Windows, I have a couple options here. So they're highlighted by operating system. So if you have Mac, you can do this installer, but typically Mac users have a package manager, and that typically how they do that is they use something like called Brew. So if we go to Brew, they install Brew here, and then basically all they can search for here is just Python, and here is Python 3. So all they need to do is to Brew install Python 3. So going back to this page here, I have a couple of options depending on which architecture you're for. You can get 3264 or 32-bit or 64-bit. I have a 64-bit. So this isn't the better package, but the installer is the best way to go because it just basically takes you through a wizard and you can install. So as you can see with the description, it gives me a recommended, so I'll install that. And depending on your browser, it should automatically start it. For me, I have Firefox, so it'll give me a dialog that says save file, and also depending on your settings. So that'll download. So as I mentioned, Mac users basically just have to brew install, and it'll just install it for you, and it'll just go through the whole installation process. And it'll give you some instructions So for example, if you wanted to do Python 3, it gives you the ways to install it, and how to symlink it, and how to use certain environments. So now that I have Python 3 installed, I'm going to open that. So if I open it, I'll get something like this. Hopefully you can see that. So now, so install Stability 7. I can install for all recommended all users and add Python 3.8 to the path. So it's installed now. That will install. This is installing. This may take a couple of minutes depending on your system. And then basically from there you can basically click through just hitting X for getting the default, and then hit install, and it'll just install everything for you. So if you saw there was a checkbox before, if you don't click that, you'll have to do some manual environment setup, but if you click that, it should install correctly for your system. So once this installs, as you can see, it's getting pretty close to completing. I would want to talk about, like, if you like what you're seeing, leave a like. If you have any ideas, leave them down in the comments, for us to cover what projects or things you'd want to see upcoming. Um, and yeah, and then hopefully you can pick through and go through some of the interesting ones. Or based on what I have scheduled as well, you can either upvote what you think is a good idea of what we should cover. So now that you see the setup was successful, that's all you really have to do. There's special things, there's limits, but it's okay. So now if you close, now you should have Python installed. To verify that, actually, since we're on Windows, all we need to do is open up a command prompt and just type Python. Boom, 3.8.37, and now we have the interpreter going. Just typical Python is just hello world, and wow, there we go, Python. Yeah. In the next episode, we'll look at installing Git, and in another episode, we'll look at installing Golang. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see more.